I think that's one of the many takeaways for this particular election, is that there has yet to be any one person that can undermine democracy in this country to the point where it falls apart. Now, I guess that will remain to be seen once the next couple of months eclipse, how that manifests. Right now, it does not seem that it will degrade to that point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're not out of the woods yet, and this presidency has really flipped a lot of shit on its head, as far as I'm concerned, in how we understand our country and our democracy and how we interact with each other and how we interact with how politicians are interacting with, like, Twitter and the types of things that they're saying and how that gets people all riled up. So I don't think I'm going to be fully comfortable until we're actually with a new president. But it seems like it's going to work out.
It does seem that way. And while there are a lot of accusations to this point baseless of there being voter fraud or chicanery.
That seems to be the new word that they like to use.
Yes, chicanery is a very uncommonly used word, but you know,
Yeah.
and hopefully we don't get to use it so much moving forward. But to this point, there has been no definitive evidence presented of election fraud.
No.
And I personally do not believe that there is election fraud.
Yeah, and they've researched this. I mean, they being the people that research this and have studied elections and study how it works and follow both the polls and the actual electioning. And I think what I've read from those people is that it's less likely than getting struck by lightning. It's like a 0.000005% chance that there would actually be any significant election fraud.
Right. So not only do I take solace in the fact that this is researched, but to also see it play out.
Yeah.
That there really is a number of different safeguards in our system, despite 4 years of feeling like everything was off the rails.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, it's been so crazy and the rhetoric has been so crazy that even I was getting anxious about voting as well. I mean, we voted in person partially because our in-person voting is pretty easy, but also because my absentee ballot got messed up. Or when I ordered an absentee ballot in the primaries, it didn't show up until 6 weeks after the election. So that got messed up. And a lot of the absentee or mail-in ballots from friends of ours got messed up. They got the wrong name or something like that. But that's not voter fraud, because that's just sort of a clerical error or a mistake within the postal system or something like that. I just wanted to make sure that my vote got there.
Right.
And that's why I voted in person. And it was also kind of an emotional experience for me. The place where we vote is so small. It's just a school right down the street. It's actually not small. It's a big gym, but the amount of people that show up to vote is usually pretty small. And I guess because we vote in all the local elections and the midterms and all that, that's probably what it is, that there's not usually a lot of people. I've been the very first person to vote there multiple times. And Mike, you reminded me after I said this the other day too, but in 2016, there were also a lot of people there voting. But it felt like there were a lot of people there this time too, and not so many that it didn't feel unsafe in any way. And it's still like I think there were 4 people ahead of us in the original line, and then another, 2 people to wait to get to actually go in and vote. But usually I'm just like the only person there with the poll workers.
Right.
So it felt energizing. It felt like people were really showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they were. I mean, it was the most number of votes cast ever by sheer number. And the highest percentage in a number of years. I don't have that offhand.
They were estimating that it might be 65%, but I actually never went to look at what the true number was.
Yeah. It's also
Do they even know yet the final count of votes? Because they're still counting the last one, like, because they still have some that can come in certain states too.
Yeah, I guess they don't have a
They probably don't have the
definitive final percentage.
final number.
They have the number, a high number of ballots cast,
Yeah.
not necessarily who the votes are cast for. It does appear that Biden will be the first president to, well, excluding Barack Obama, but the first-term president to have over 50% of the vote. So
Oh, wow.
Trump obviously did not have that.
Yeah.
Clinton did not have that. Bush
Yeah.
did not have that. So that's something that's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah, and he's
obviously,
winning right now by about 4.5 million.
yeah, and it's going to go up.
Yeah.
And yeah, he will have the most votes ever.
Mm-hmm.
Trump will have the second most votes ever in this highly motivated election. So I don't know how much that means other than to say that turnout was significant.
Yeah,
So-
turnout was significant.